Happy Monday yet again, another video by me. And what else to talk about than to talk about my path, about me. Time to talk about myself. The path I've taken, the unbiased path, you know? Because the way I see it is that politicians are supposed to be working for you. They're supposed to do things for you. You vote for them and then they get paid by like, whatever tax revenue or their salary and shit, the state salary. Well, supposedly on the record, off the record, and ask Nancy Pelosi. She's probably just like yucking it up on a yacht or some shit like that, dumping stocks. You know, Bill Gates is dumping stocks. Elon Musk is trying to save face in light of all these allegations and stuff. Like the email stuff that came out about him is pretty scathing. Like he has to prove himself innocent. He has to either, well, he's the richest man in the world, or one of the richest men in the world. If it's that, I don't know how it's going to be defamation at that point, because it would be considered hearsay or something like that. Like that you can't put the onus on anybody in specificity. So him proving innocence is going to be like an uphill battle. But like, he wanted to party on the island with the girls. Piers Morgan wanted to party on the island with the girls. Prince Andrew, Jay-Z, and the list goes on and on and on. It's funny too how like you have like these hardcore ass politicians who are on the list, and for the longest time we were always wondering what is the whole rhetoric behind this open borders, this whole push for these illegal immigrants to enter into the country and then, gain naturalized citizenship and then vote in favor of the party that basically allowed them to come into the country without any checks, without any, like passport, nothing. Just come in the country. You can get a passport when you're here. We'll give you one, a new one, because you vote Democrat. And then you go watch the Super Bowl halftime show. I think they actually brought K Rock on so that people's brains won't explode from the sheer gayness of the whole like halftime show. I'm never gonna stop saying that word because it's like, oh, what the fuck else am I supposed to say? Some gay ass shit. Yo, you wanna watch some football, man? This is so fucking dumb. And I saw this one, like, this club. I don't know, I haven't actually been clubbing in so long, but I just, like, they posted on my Instagram, because I posted on Instagram today. Or whatever. I do that from time to time. And then I saw they were, like, hosting the Super Bowl game, and you just see them. It's just, like, the most utterly pathetic ass people. Just jumping up and cheering for their sports teams. I told you, man. Like, yo, wouldn't it have been better if you just like drank some liquor, blazed, pump some iron, well, I like to brush my teeth afterwards, but then, pump some iron and then chilled out for a little bit, then to do that shit with your time, with your life. You remain impartial, unbiased. But like, we gotta talk about the whole Emiru gigantic response to basically to throw Tectone and Lakari under the bus and to like save face. And you have to understand something about girls. They're fucked, eh? Like you think it's easy for guys, right? Because you take it for granted, right? Like, yo, you want to fucking come at me? I'll fucking punch you and shit. Like, I was just watching this snippet of random ass YouTubers chiming in on how like if Emiru like doesn't say anything against the ICE apprehensions, agents, then she's part of the problem. And it's like ugly ass fucking faced YouTuber after ugly ass faced YouTuber. And you know why they do it? I made a video about it early this morning. That's exactly why they do it. Because it's like, if it's not their 15 minutes of fame, it's the idea that like, to normalize the complacency that you can't be insulated in this world where you're only around desirable people. You have to like, witness the Lakaris, the Tectones. And that's most likely why she like threw them under the bus so hard. Because like I said, like dog, 10 motherfucking years on Tectone, like 10 motherfucking years. You can't be saying that, yeah, it's just some little thing, misunderstanding. The judge, you know, misjudged my vibes and this and that, and I just said a bunch of dumb shit in court, which is true. You know, you did say a bunch of dumb shit in court. And you're talking about like Hassan and shit. Like, yo, this is a judge. Like I don't know, like a civil court. It's because she want like okay. This is what people don't understand about this whole thing, about the whole case, right? If she pursues this criminally, which she can do, uh, I don't know if it's going to be taken by the state, like if a state prosecutor is going to cooperate with her, or she's going to have to hire her own lawyer. So most likely it's going to be from the state, but like she isn't going to get any money out of it. It's just going to like waste her time and stuff. Meanwhile, like, you know, if she spent time with Techno, most likely she's going to want something out of it. Or maybe she's just like, you know, that vindictive type to just, you know, take the money out of this guy's hands and shit. But that's 99% of the reason why, like, this thing, this court order is so vastly harsh and severe. Is that, you know, Tectone have these videos, regardless of in the beginning, and this happened to Tom Dark, where his girl, or at the time his ex-girl, was saying, "Yo, let's make a sex tape," or some shit like that. You know, his ex-girl talked pure gutter. Like, I don't know what kind of fucking does he live in Toronto? Like, what the fuck, dude? Where'd you find that thing? You talking about getting cracked? Like, I honestly thought that, like, Tom Dark was, like, pretty young. Like, how it's some gutter ass shit. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Yo, that's how you know I'm unbiased. I'm like bringing up everybody. Tom Dark. I was a big ass Tom Dark fan because he went in on what's his name? Fuck. I remember. I forget his name. Oh, Bunty King. Bunty Kings. I always hate that guy. I don't know why. He's just like, you know, the kind of guy that, like, you know, tries to laugh and try to, like, you know, be falsely genuine for the sake of being genuine. And speaking of being genuine, you know, part of on this, like, unbiased path is I have to remain impartial. I just can't talk about, oh, the dark Jews and, like, you know, Hassan and his crowd and, like, the cruelty of, like, you know, the Middle East and the Palestinians and, like, you know, the Sudanese conflict and all these things without, that's right, I gotta bring it up. So Tyler, yo, first he jumped in on India, like he made that what was it? Poop festival video, which is just like, you know, worldwide famous, and like, yo, people like they know now. They know about like what goes down, right? And what better way to follow that video up? Actually, I don't know which one came first. Which was either the. I actually think the Brampton one came first, and then the Manhattan one came. And I wanted to talk about the Jews in Upper Manhattan because of the whole Epstein thing and how that related to that. But more on the topic, yo, Brampton went live, man. Man came through to Canada, and he not only like exposed just how fucked up this neighborhood is, but all the scams that people pull with immigration. And you know, when American says it, it hits that much harder, especially when he's like, you know, worldwide. It's just going all over the place. Like, this guy's unstoppable. And like, not only is he just like, you know, going around the neighborhoods, talking to people, this and that, everyone's saying the same thing. It's like, yo, it's too dirty, you know, people don't know how to drive. Oh, what's the other one? Oh, that's funny too. Like, the one where he points that out in the beginning of his video. There's this guy and he's like driving, and I don't know, for some reason he's trying to avoid traffic, so he just drives on the sidewalk. The beginning of the video. Alright, so like he's showing off the gigantic Hanuman statue. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm so happy. I jumped ship. I changed my converted my religion. I'm a Buddhist now because it's like, yo, that those Epstein files had some like brown mans in them, like Deepak Chopra, and then some other Ambani. Not the guy who got married, thankfully, because that'd be fucked up. Because it's just like, everybody went to his wedding. It's like, how? Why did you turn out like this? You were supposed to be the golden child. You were supposed to be so happy. What, the Epstein Island? Why? No, some other fucker. Yo, what? And he's just like, yo, I mean, he's very interested in going to the island, says Deepak Chopra. And then he had to, like, private his account because he's just like, oh, fuck, my life is over now. Jay-Z, Deepak Chopra, this, Ambani guy. I think his name is Anil. Fuck, man. And you gotta jump ship because when they're showing off this gigantic statue and shit like that, like, to me, if you know when I was part of the religion, I would think that like it would have that inside of a place of worship because like when I used to go to my local mandir, aka temple, it was just off of a highway and stuff, and we had all of the statues. Granted, I haven't been there in like over a couple of decades. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's inside the place, and it's just it's more of a chill place. Now, out here in Brampton, there is a differentiation between the cast. Like, you know what I mean? Like people who just wing it, who just like do whatever they want, like that very much encompasses the people inside of Brampton, showing off like their vagrant amount of like love of their like putting up their places. They're not only like places of worship, but like the businesses take over, and then they went in hard as hell, dude. Tyler, the American independent freelance journalist, has exposed the paper mill diplomas in Brampton. That's right. We're talking about the student visa sponsorship programs that get these fuckers in the country. No background checks, no credential checks, nothing. And not only gives them jobs, but also like, well, siphons their money. Like this is how the scam works, right? Like these schools are basically for nothing. Like you can't go out after graduating from one of these schools with this like basically like Microsoft Word printed diploma and get a real job. Like you just have to like work the system through their means, and like this is why you have like these truckers who don't know a word about English, nothing, don't even know how to like properly follow driving signs, just like driving trucks for these hyper wealthy, hyper pedophilic, as we're finding out. Yeah, because guess what? Not only was he exposing like all the things, like the scams, the crime now too, but also, and this is the best part about the entire expose on Brampton, this guy got in touch with a human smuggler. Now, you probably ask yourself, like, where would he be smuggling himself to? He's already in Canada. I thought that's where he wanted to go. That's right. United States of America. And not only did he get in touch with this guy, he actually went out, got a hold of him, and was put up in a safe house. And I think he was at a border town or something, and he was ready right then and there to jump the border. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sikhs have been exposed. They be running up in your country, and you're like wondering, like, what the fuck for? Why would you be running up in your country? No identification, no nothing. It's a land of opportunities, and like, they're gonna link up in America, form their little Khalistan gangs, and guess what? They're going to victimize, as in groom children, specifically women, but probably men too. As long as it like they can get something out of it, and everybody gets a chance, gets a pass. They're very generous with sharing in that regard. And yeah, like he jumped ship last second, and it's like all too often that you don't hear about these things. You don't think about it. You don't see it. You're like, oh, the Muslims, they're terrorists. They're gonna blow you up and this and that, dude. Their religion's gone. The Islamic religion's gone, dude. The fact that Jeffrey Epstein took their holiest relic and basically wiped his ass with it. Not even like you wipe your ass with it, right? Like I could wipe my ass, pee, like I could just basically do everything on it. That like and it would just like be, I guess like a one-time thing, or I don't know. I guess I would eventually have to throw it away or something like that. This man turned it into a rug, a carpet, and let me explain the significance of why that is a huge violation. Now, I looked it up. It's called Hajj. So people make this pilgrimage out to Mecca or Medina. I don't know, Mecca, Medina. Um, and then there's this gigantic black obelisk cube that they're all like praying towards. And this is oftentimes the dying wish of many of these Muslim scholars. They're like, okay, I have like terminal cancer. I have this and that. This is the last thing I want to do before I die. I want to pray at Mecca, right? And what happens? Motherfucker took your holiest artifact, turned it into a rug, and most likely had like the worst kinds of like ritualistic sacrifices and sex rituals and all these kinds of pedophilic demonic ass shit. Oh my god, dude. Do you realize that like people have died for less in Islam? You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I saw this one video of this girl. Apparently, she like ripped out a page of the Quran. They're like beating her to death with like rocks and shit. It was like hard to watch. This was back in the day, old school ass internet when there's like zero censorship and shit. People have died for less in Islam. Charlie Hebdo drawing, Muhammad and shit. This is something you don't recover from. You understand? But like, isn't it so convenient that the ultimate fall guy in every like the bad guys in most video games now, like whenever you hear the word terrorists or like a bomb goes off, you automatically assume, or even a plane crash, you automatically assume something to do with them, and then the whole diversion, them being let into the country at an unreasonable amount, their constant affinity for like police, security guards, like all these oversight jobs that you will require trust for, and we're finding out that it was peel cops that had dirt on them. Apparently, they were the ones that were like putting out these hits. Oh my god, on other cops. Yes, it's in our news. Go look it up. And we understand now all too often that the burden that was thrust upon us was just a diversion to cover up their machinations. It makes them look so much better. And it's like, all the hatred, all the things that you've known your entire life. See, this is why it's important to remain unbiased. You just be a guy like me who just like laughs at it all. It's all so pathetic and stuff, but like, you know, try to remain impartial and don't worry too much about what other people say. At least try to be yourself.